Hey everyone, Jess here at Arrow Jam Farms. In case you don't know, I'm in the process of building a woven wire fence for this video. And this video, I'm going to make it a tools, tips, and tricks video. If you want some other details, like on the braces, how I constructed those, check out the other video, the main video. I'll post a link to that at the top and down in the description of this video. So I'm making this one because the first video ran just a little bit long, and just trying to keep these short and sweet and to the point so you can dig into them, get the info you need out of them, and then go back to doing what you need to do. So with that being said, let's dig into these tools, and I'll show you some really good tools for constructing woven wire fence, and then I'll show you a really good trick for straightening out the waves that you get on uneven ground, typically with woven wire fence, and probably even welded wire. I don't do much welded wire just because it's smaller gauge and it doesn't hold up near as long as good woven wire. So let's get to it. Alright, we're back here. I got some of these tools set up. Probably first thing I'd go over fencing pliers. These are Channel Lock brand. Highly recommend the Channel Lock brand. Probably the best ones I've used. More pliers. These are Lyman's pliers. These are Stanley's, cheap set from Walmart. I just went and bought a cheap set to throw in my fencing toolbox. Very handy when doing fencing. In the previous video I showed using these for stripping these knots on this woven wire. Worked really good for that. Of course, wrenches, if tightening up your nuts and your bolts on your fence stretcher, assuming you have this type. These are some wire cutters. These are kind of expensive, but they are awesome. Made in Germany, Nipix brand. These will cut high tensile fence wire. If they'll cut high tensile fence wire, they'll cut just about anything. Hard as a rock. I think they're actually called mini bolt cutters, maybe. These are more or less for some different tools for putting on the T-post clips. Oh, like actually this one. I show this one in another video a lot. It's really handy for twisting your wire around when you're terminating on a post. Check out the other fence video. That is, I don't know if you can see that or not, Red brand. I'm sure there's some other brands of this, but very handy for woven wire. It's another wire twist tool. I don't use this one a whole lot, just because I got a couple here that I like quite a bit better. But I have seen people use these. Not my favorite though. This wicked looking thing, also for putting on T-post clips. I think it's called a tie wrench. There's certain situations where it works okay, but it's not the easiest to use. I usually spend more time figuring out how to use the thing. Just your plain old screwdriver. This can be used to put on, depending on the type of T-post clip it is. Put it in, give it a twist around, and then the other side you might have to come back with pliers and pinch it closed. These next three are kind of all-in-one tools. So I'll go over this one first. I don't remember the name on this one. I'll look it up and I'll throw maybe some text up on the screen. Pretty sure I just got it off of Amazon. I think a lot of the local farm stores sell it also. This one, it kind of works like the screwdriver does on the one side. You put it in, give it a twist around, that twists it around the wire, and you come back on the other side. I don't know if you can tell or not, it has these holes in here, so you can put the wire in that side and then give it another twist around, and that locks the other side in. So I like that one for not having to carry two different tools to put on a T-post clip. So that also brings me to my next two. These are pretty much identical, as you can see, one's just different sizes. And these are also a 2-in-1 tool for T-post clips, which is why I like them. Very small, compact, no moving parts. I got this from a local feed store, not the big box farm store, but the local feed store. And at the local feed store, these are kind of like a fundraiser for FFA, so supporting the FFA there. So highly recommend these. I have seen these on Amazon under I think the Ranch X brand, something like that, or at least this one size for sure. So this works kind of like your screwdriver on one side of your T-post clip, put it in, and that'll get you some wraps around that side. And there's a hole on this end for your other side of the T-post clip, and that will lock in your other side. Now this size I use a lot on barbed wire fence, or maybe some of your bigger woven wire. This size worked really good on this 2x4 wire, and I'll show you here in a second. This is probably my favorite wire twist tool, and it's not expensive. It's maybe $4 or $5, $3 or $4, somewhere around there, if that much. Of course, the bigger ones cost a little bit more, but really worth it. And they seem, so far, they've been very durable. Only thing about this one is I have seen some reviews where these break. Other than that, I do like this one too. As far as all-in-one T-post clip tools go, I'd say these three are my favorite. Gotta have some leather gloves. Definitely wear gloves doing fence. So next thing is a wire stretcher, and there's tons of videos on how to make these. It's just 2x4. This was an 8-footer. I cut it in half. I clamped it together, drilled 4 holes in it so that my holes would match up. I used some bolts that I already had. They happen to be 7/16. You can use really any size. I'd go maybe 3/8. Start at 3/8 inch and up. This is just a cheap come along. Nothing fancy about it. There are a lot better ones out there, but it works. I've also used a chain fall. That works good as well. And then just a bucket to put all your scraps in. See, I got scraps in there where I stripped that wire before I put it on that T-post. We will get to putting on some of these T-post clips, and then I'll also show you how to take some of the slack out of this woven wire. There's really no getting around having some waviness or slack here and there in your wire. Let's go check it out. Alright, here's a few other tools I forgot to take with me when I did the video just a second ago. So a string really comes in handy. A long tape measure if you have one. This is just a 50-footer. It really depends on the length of runs you're going to be doing. I have a 300-footer that works a lot better for doing fence. And then just a regular tape measure, of course. This isn't a necessity, but it's pretty handy. I like to use it to mark my post locations, my T-post locations. Get them measured out, you can mark it, and then you don't have to break out the tape measure again. Pretty handy. Just wanted to add those in there. Also a drill bit and a drill for putting in your brace pins, things like that. And that's pretty much it. But the other tools I mentioned a while ago, that's the ones that are really handy for actually putting on the wire and getting the wire on the post and the fence post. Just need it right here. Oops. Alright. So I got my tool and my loop. This T-post little. Give it a wrap around. Pop this side in. Now I'm going to put my wire in this end right here. Get it wrapped around. And I like it. The short one is the way to go on this horse fence. I don't know if you can tell, there's a little bit of kind of a wave right here. And that's just caused from this land. It's not flat at all. Between my two corner posts, it's going up and down like this. So it is what it is, but this is the result. You just kind of got to deal with it. This is kind of where that wave is starting. So what I'm going to do, and most of my wave is kind of in the bottom. The top is pretty tight. And all I'm going to do, I'm using these lineman's pliers again. Just going to get that wire, and I'm going to give it a twist. That bottom one's pretty hard to do because it's thicker. So I'm going to grab it, twist. And I don't know if you can tell on camera, when I twist it, it brought these two closer together. And so if you keep doing this, going, you know, go to the right and to the left, you're shrinking that wire, and that's going to slowly take that slack out. I'm just going to go all the way up. I may not go all the way to the top. It just depends. So now I'm going to go back. This is where I started. I'm going to go over here beside it. So the bottom wire's hard. So I'm just going to give all these twists. And you might have to do this depending on how bad or how much slack is in it. You might have to go out 3, 4, 5 feet. Just depends. Just kind of got to trial and error. Do a little bit at a time and then stand back and check it. Stand back and look. And that already looks a lot better. I don't know if you can tell. I think I need to do just a little bit more. See, most of my slack is going to be on this bottom here. So on this bottom wire I could actually go out, let's say 2 feet or 3 feet, and then do this twisting and kind of actually make like a triangle going this way, because my top wire is actually pretty tight, but all my slack is on the middle because it's hitting on these humps. Yeah, very rarely do I actually have to go all the way to the top wire and twist it. So that is looking a whole lot better than it was. And again, that was kind of a minor spot there. Let me walk around see if I can find a bigger spot, some bigger issues. Alright, so this is probably going to be the worst spot I'm going to have. I moved the fence in and out, wiggled it in and out a little bit, just to try to move some of that dirt out of the way, give it a little bit of relief. Maybe you can see how far away this fence is from this post, and that's because it's sitting on the ground right here and it's pushing it up. So let me get this camera set up and I'll go to work on this. Maybe we'll make a little headway on it, and then I'll show you the result. Just doing gunner. Get out here talking and the dogs like to investigate. If you can tell how much better that is. Go around here to the other side. That was pushing out so much it barely touched the post. And this is what we have now. I might could do a little bit more, make it a little bit better, but that is a whole lot better. I could live with that. One thing you might have noticed is I actually twisted some of my verticals too. Right here. And what that done is it took slack out from top to bottom. Twisting your horizontals will take slack out left and right. So I did both. I've actually got a section here. I could probably come back and might twist that in. Help it a little bit, 'cause I see a little bit of a bow. Not much, and then definitely not anything like it was a while ago. So awesome little trick for getting slack out of your woven wire. I'm almost done with this fence project, minus my gates, and there will be a video on that, so check that out. Be watching for that. Just take this opportunity to tell you to like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching, and we'll be back. God bless.